Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Six of Bows in Abundance. And when this card came up today, I was like, all right, the message is to the group that you have abundance. We've been talking about asset allocation, for like 10 days. And, to me, when I see this card comes up, it's more than just about having that extra $5 in your pocket, okay? To me, abundance is having a house or an apartment, okay? Having a vehicle to get to work or some vehicle, way of transportation to get to work. If you're in a major city or something like that and you have an apartment and you've got enough change to get onto the subway or you pay the subway pass, that's an abundant feature that you have. Okay, you're not, if you're in a city and you're doing that, you're not wasting money on, gas in an automobile, right? And, probably rent for that automobile in the garage or anything. But if you do, that just shows that you have more abundance, in your back pocket. Okay. The other thing, I like about this abundance card is all the food laying around. Okay, open up your refrigerator, your freezer. I bet you there's stuff in there that you have abundance of. An abundance of, stored meat. Open up your pantry. You probably have an abundance of stored canned goods that, hey, I'm going to make this one of these days. Or, for when the weather gets cold, I'm going to, pull out a can of soup. To me, that's abundance. When you look at relationships, it's look at your friends group, right? If there's people that you can go out with and hang out with on a Friday night, that's abundance. Okay. If you're, very active on social media and you've got a lot of followers, that's abundance. Okay. And it's just, you can go down all those avenues, right? Love and relationships. Right? If you've got a family that is there to embrace you, that's abundance. If you've got creative ideas, a passion, fire for a new relationship, for ideas, that's abundance. Okay, so abundance comes in many different forms, and this Six of Bows, bows is all about fire energy, and you can see that right in the center, right? And it's all about that passion. You have abundance in your asset allocation. Even though you may look at it and say, you know what, I feel like I'm struggling. You may not have the goal that you want, okay? But I bet you if you looked into your purse or into your pocket, I bet you'd come up with a quarter. Whether that's 2 dimes and a nickel, 25 pennies, 5 nickels, or just a quarter. That's abundance. Okay? It's not that the point is, you're not making headway. By continuing to save and use your asset allocation wisely, yes, that abundance grows in finances. It could do so in a relationship as well. When you do something kind for somebody else, going across the street, helping out your neighbors, right? Even just spending time with somebody, that's abundance, okay? Because you're using your time to continue developing a quality relationship. Same thing with your loved ones in that, spending time with them, okay? That's abundance. And I could go on and on and on, but it's great that you have this all here. Okay, and you're being protective. And, the Kingfisher is down here, saying, hey, where do you need to focus on clearly? You can focus on the individual points of a relationship, your materialism, your security, your intellect, your thought process, and your emotions. Doing so makes you human. But when you can share that with others, when you can sit down and have that conversation over a cup of coffee, or an adult beverage, that's what gives you more of that abundance. I don't want to say karma points, but with the universe. The universe sees that, okay, and it rewards you for it. And when you can, sharing is caring. When you can share what you do have, even if it's only a quarter, okay, leaving that in the Aldi cart for somebody else. That's a butterfly effect, paying it forward. But at the same time, maybe somebody needed that quarter. You don't know. The universe did. That helps re-energize you as you're moving forward on your spiritual path. And through that re-energization, if I could say that right, it prepares you for the challenges ahead, okay? To look at that abundance and, of love, let's say in a relationship. When that challenge happens, you can fall back on family members. You can fall back, on your loved one or your spouse, your significant other, and say, you know what? I had a really bad day today. I could just use a hug. And I can guarantee you're going to get more than a hug. Okay? You're going to get some sort of energetic embrace that's going to be between the two of you, right? Even if it's just, even if it's over a cup of coffee with a neighbor, and just say, you know what? I just want to talk about my day. There's going to be some energy transferred to you to help lift your spirits up. Okay? And that's going to help you with the challenges that are coming ahead. Now, I don't know if we have challenges coming ahead or not. Okay? The whole point is there's abundance in your life. You just have to look to see where it's at. Even if you just open up the closet and look what's in the closet. Books. That's an abundance. What haven't you read here in a long time? Why are you holding on to it? If you have that garage sale, sell that series of books to somebody. Somebody's going to buy them. That's, $5, $10 more in your pocket. Abundance. You're also clearing out stuff so you can bring new stuff in. And it's just sharing those gifts with others. And that helps brings peace within yourself, satisfaction, lifts your spirits up. And, you can give thanks for what you do have. Be grateful for what you do have. Because the universe has provided. The universe is protecting you. The universe is helping you move forward on your spiritual path. And throughout all that, you're blessed. You're blessed to be able to sit down in your apartment or a house and have a great meal. Whether it's a can of soup or a T-bone steak. You're blessed to be able to go to work and put up with others' junk, right? Listen to the gossip. Because guess what? There are people out there that don't have a job. They don't have an office to go to. And they're trying to figure out, how am I going to move forward? Looking at, what was an abundance starting to move down. So, be grateful for what you do have. Your loving relationships, your spiritual attitude, right? The connection you have with the universe, through your meditations, through your materialism within your home, your house, your vehicle, however you want to look at it. And know that you're blessed. You've been blessed on this journey all year, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm blessed that you're on this journey with me. I'm very grateful of the subscribers that I have, okay? And I hope we continue to grow together, and move forward together in your spiritual path and in mine, okay? Because when you radiate those blessings upon others, okay, Spirit starts bestowing other riches upon you that you're not even aware of, okay? And as a result of that, you can continue that cycle again and again, almost like that journey card. It was the death of it, now it's going to be the birth of it. Okay, there's an ending and there's a beginning. And as you continue that cycle and you continue to move around, you get more blessed, you get more rewards. You become more grateful. You may sit back and look at that and go, I don't know how I did it. But guess what? You did. So continue moving on that journey and understand that you have abundance. You have abundance and blessings from the universe, from your spiritual maker, however you want to believe, from the world, from your neighbors, from your state, from your country. Be grateful for the abundance you have. That's today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck, the Six of Bows and Abundance. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others. Give me a thumbs up. And this is D for Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.